Rebuilding is a frustrating process, more so in the NBA than perhaps any other professional sports. And it seems like the Denver Nuggets have been rebuilding for a few years now. But with the talent acquired over the last 2 drafts, the Nuggets' trajectory appears to be on the upswing. Last year's third best rookie, Nikola Jokic, joins another promising big in Jusuf Nurkic. Emmanuel Mudiay is coming along nicely at the point guard position, and he must continue to improve his jump shot. The Nuggets drafted combo guard Jamal Murray out of Kentucky, who is a natural-born scorer that the squad needs. Will they have Murray coming off the bench? Can he coexist with a dominant point guard? Those are some of the questions that needs to be answered for the Denver Nuggets to move forward. The future in Denver looks to be bright, but how long will the rebuild take? The Oklahoma City Thunder will go into the season without their former second overall pick, Kevin Durant, for the first time ever. It's now officially Russell Westbrook's team now, and you know his competitive juices will be flowing now more than ever. He is joining the backcourt with newly acquired Victor Oladipo from the Orlando Magic. They will be a nightmare for opposing teams in the open court. After his coming out party in the 2016 playoffs, Steven Adams is primed to be one of the most improved players in the league. I'm looking forward to see how much his game expands with more opportunities. Without Kevin Durant, will Russell Westbrook try to do too much? Oklahoma City has not really been that efficient in crunch time of big games. Ersan Ilyasova is probably the only proven three-point shooter on the team. They weren't really a good three-point shooting team with Durant on the team. Three-point shooting might be OKC's Achilles heel. Coming off a season where they pushed a 73-win squad to 6 games in the second round, things are looking up for the young Blazers squad. One of the hardest things to do in sports is going from a promising young playoff team to a championship contender. It's very important for the players not to be satisfied or to think the next step is going to be easy. The Blazers spent a boatload of money in free agency by keeping most of their players and adding Evan Turner and Festus Ezeli. Looking at the roster, it seems that a couple of players might be left out of the rotation. Out of Harkless, Vonleh, Plumlee, Davis, Leonard, and Turner, a player or two will be riding the bench. And I think it's time for Noah Vonleh to live up to his lottery pick status and start producing on the court. This team is led by the high-scoring backcourt in Damian Lillard and CJ McCollum. With a lot of the supporting cast locked up for the next few years, do the Blazers have enough around their 2 best players to seriously contend for a championship? The Utah Jazz are primed to make a jump in the West with their collection of young talent, along with veterans added in the offseason. They added George Hill, Boris Diaw, and Joe Johnson this offseason to add veteran presence to this young squad. The Jazz came close to sneaking into the 8th seed last season, finishing 1 game behind the Houston Rockets. The Jazz not only have a team good enough to make the playoffs, they have a team that's good enough to compete for a top 4 seed in the West. Dante Exum will be coming off an injury to back up George Hill at the point guard position. It's a perfect situation for Exum to ease back into game action, playing behind a veteran point guard. The Utah Jazz probably have the deepest team in the NBA. And with a roster that's filled with young players who have yet to hit their prime, the Jazz are set for long-term success that should begin sooner rather than later. The league's most exciting young core represents the dawn of a new era for the Minnesota Timberwolves. Tom Thibodeau is now the head coach of the team, and he will bring a tough defensive edge to a team that struggled on that end last season. The improvement of Karl-Anthony Towns and Andrew Wiggins will drive the immediate future of the franchise. Towns is poised for superstardom, and Wiggins continues to showcase his impressive two-way game. The supporting cast has promising pieces with Ricky Rubio, Chris Dunn, and Zach LaVine. I believe Thibodeau will have the same effect in the first year with the Timberwolves as he did his first year with the Bulls. Obviously, the Timberwolves won't compete for a top spot in the West, but the impact should be the same. Great days are ahead for the Minnesota Timberwolves. In the Northwest Division, there are 4 teams that can possibly win the division. I expect a very tight race in this division from start to finish. I have coming in 5th place, the Denver Nuggets. You can say that the Denver Nuggets have log jams at almost every position, especially at the guard and forward position. Mike Malone will have his hands full trying to determine the rotation. The Nuggets are still rebuilding, and it may take another year before this team is ready to be a playoff contender. I have the Nuggets winning around 25 to 30 games. Coming in 4th place, the Oklahoma City Thunder. Russell Westbrook will go bananas and put up insane numbers this season, but I do not think they have enough shooting, and the opposing teams will know that and dare OKC to shoot outside. Westbrook and Oladipo are slashers, and without outside shooters to space the floor, it may be difficult for those guys to find driving lanes. I have OKC winning around 38 to 43 games. Coming in third place, the Minnesota Timberwolves. The arrow is pointing up for this squad. They have potential superstars, a supporting cast, and a great coach. It looks good on paper, but they actually need to make it count in the win column. There is no excuse why this team shouldn't be competing for a playoff spot this upcoming season. I have the Timberwolves winning around 40 to 45 games. Coming in second place is the Utah Jazz. The Jazz are loaded at nearly every position. The foundation is built in Utah, and with the additions of George Hill, Joe Johnson, and Boris Diaw, the Utah Jazz are ready to be heard. I have the Jazz winning around 42 to 46 games. And coming in first place is the Portland Trail Blazers. With the departure of Kevin Durant, the Northwest Division is Portland's to lose. They have the superstar, the sidekick, the outside shooting, and the defense. Portland should take a step forward this year. I have the Blazers winning around 45 to 50 games.